I was asked by one of you guys in the comments, Max Exala, about my overall collection and if there are any Pokemon that I keep going back to and using a whole lot, even if the situation is quite different in terms of events and aisles. And so in this video, we'll just go through my collection a little bit and highlight some of the Pokemon that is quite helpful for me in my sleep research. And then overall, I can use my widget on the very left here of the screen at the end to highlight some additional Pokemon that I have yet to acquire myself, but that I am looking for, that I think will be a great addition to the collection overall, of just generally speaking, Pokemon that are really strong in almost any situation. So let's head into my bag where all the goodies are stored. So got the Pokemon box here, and we're going to sort by level, because most of the Pokemon that I tend to use a lot, they have over time gained quite a lot of leveling. The first Pokemon that I do want to highlight is the Energy for Everyone Pokemon. This Sylveon is more or less on the team 24/7 with very few exceptions. The exceptions that are somewhat frequent is if I have a couple really good days on the Sylveon, I can do the A-B team strategy where I overcharge a whole bunch of Pokemon, and then I can essentially run a whole day without needing a healer whatsoever. It is somewhat rare, and it's mostly recent that I've started that whole thing, so we'll see how that goes into the future. But Sylveon as a whole is a really strong Pokemon. When it comes to the healer Pokemon in general, I would say probably it's not as good as Wigglytuff is in the beginning, and Gardevoir in the more mid to late game. I wouldn't really describe Pokemon Sleep in a late game state yet, so I would call it mid game, you know? So I have covered what sub-skills and natures you want to look for, both in the berry specialists and for the ingredient specialists and the skill specialists. So check out the Pokemon Sleep for Beginners playlist if you want any in-depth info on it. So obviously you can see the Sylveon here has got the skill level up M and a skill trigger M and a helping speed. And then at later unlocks here, I get the skill trigger S and the helping speed M. So at level 100, this Sylveon is going to be quite busted. It is likely that I will at some point be going on a tremendous hunt, and we can do a little bit of a spoiler for the late part of this video, where we'll cover some of the Pokemon that I don't have. Gardevoir is one of those Pokemon. So yeah, it's just the best healer at current time. And I'm probably gonna go just all out, like 30, 40, 50 encounters of the Rolts before I really settle on the best one for the Gardevoir. So for sure, the healer Pokemon, and also the Wigglytuff I used for quite a while. You can see the capture date here was September 20th, and I was on the hunt since day one, more or less, for the Energy for Everyone. I was on that train way early. Everyone was poo-pooing this main skill, and I was saying, wait guys, there may be something here. So the skill trigger M and the skill trigger S with the helping speed up nature is quite strong. It is a bit unfortunate with the ingredient finding skills coming in late there. With the ingredient finding down nature, but overall I don't really care too much about that, this being a skill specialist. I also, unfortunately, as you can see, caught this Wigglytuff as a Jigglypuff, so the main skill level here is 2, and I planned on using more main skill seeds on this Wigglytuff. I just at some point decided I was going to go all in on the Sylveon, which was what I did. And so this Sylveon is just really strong, and I'll mostly use the Sylveon here as a healer. I could potentially consider the Wigglytuff later at some point, because overall the nature and the sub-skills are really strong. I'm just really lacking on the main skills. And with Gardevoir being so much better than the Wigglytuff overall, I think for the most part I'm just gonna let the Wigglytuff hang out a little bit, and then I'll come back to it later. So we've covered the healers. That is, for the most part, the biggest chunk of the team that is just there constantly. The Pokemon that do change a little bit from island to island is a little bit on the berry Pokemon, but as you can see, most of the Pokemon that I have leveled up past 25 here are skill specialists, and quite a few ingredient specialists as well. There are a decent number of the ingredient specialists that I have powered up to level 30, but haven't really used all that much. Charizard is one of those Pokemon. I know it's quite a good ingredient Pokemon in general, but especially at Taupe Hollow. So I probably will use the Charizard whenever I go back to Taupe Hollow sometime in the future. But for the most part, it's a mixed ingredient. I don't really need the sausage all that much for any of the dishes that I'm cooking. The 4 ginger is nice though. And the ingredient finder M sub-skill with the helping speed up nature is pretty strong. Have another ingredient finding S at some point later as well. So double ginger on the Charizard. You probably want a triple sausage honestly, but double ginger is not too bad either. Blastoise is another Pokemon that I have powered up but rarely used. It's got the helping bonus, it's got the helping speed nature, it's got speed at level 50, which I can sub-skill, and it's got the ingredient finder M and the double milk. So overall, Blastoise, quite a good Pokemon. I just haven't really been able to catch up with the other dessert ingredient Pokemon. I'm really lacking on the eggs and the honey and the cacao. So my dessert week, not strong. And yeah, the Toxicroak we've talked a lot about in the past. So for that, I would advise you to just check out some of the videos. But yeah, for the most part, my team is quite in need of some berry specialists. I do have the Walrein, and this Walrein is pretty strong. It's got the adamant nature, so not only do I get a 10% boost to the speed, I can show the Walrein here. Not only do I get the 10% increase in speed, but I get the 20% decrease in the ingredient rate, which in total maybe add like, what, 5%, 8% more berries? Or berry procs. Obviously this is berry finding, so you're gonna get a lot of berries overall. And this Walrein is overall so strong that whenever I go into the team preview, I can show you quickly here, and I do the help me pick berry finding, the Walrein is basically in #1 at all times, even though this week I have the Fiji berry and I have the Mago berry as the favorite. It's really funny with the Pikachu here at level 12, coming in at the 5th spot here. It's got the helping speed M, and it's generally a fast Pokemon, so overall not a bad Pokemon. I probably will hunt it a little bit harder this Halloween, knowing the Raikou comboing with the event Pikachu. But yeah, the Walrein, super strong. And we can pop back into the bag here. Because the Walrein, what I find interesting about it is this combo of berry finding, the great nature, but not only that, also these skill level up S that are pretty cool. Overall, you would probably prefer helping speed M on the Walrein and potentially helping bonus. The energy recovery bonus is a troll. I don't like it. It's poor. It's bad. But I was thinking this Walrein overall is the best one I've found so far. I will be going on a long hunt for Steel again. I want double Walrein. And at that point, I do want the helping bonus and the berry finding S, or the berry finding S and the helping speed M. But even with the helping speed M, it doesn't get quite a lot better than this Walrein, honestly. That would be a stretch. So I'm super satisfied with it. It's got skill level up S, skill level up M coming in later, so I'll be getting a bunch of berries and quite a bit of tails as well. So the healer Pokemon, and then I am looking to build my collection out a little bit more with the berry specialists. I am looking to find a better Feraligatr. This one is by far the best one I've found in terms of non-BFS, but berry finding is so strong that even with the ingredient finding down nature, the helping speed M, the helping speed S, it is not as strong as just having neutral nature BFS. So we'll be looking for another for alligator at some point, but for the most part I am targeting Meganium and the Raichu. Overall, Raichu is not, I would put it in the A tier personally. It's not an S tier Pokemon due to the lack of area bonus, or rather the favored berry. So the Typhlosion, the Walrein, the Meganium, and yeah, what did I say? For alligator, Typhlosion, just all those Pokemon I covered in my berry video in the Pokemon Sleep for Beginners playlist. Can recommend. So the other category here that is very much a staple of my team is the Tyranitar combo with the Gengar with the Ditto. So across these three Pokemon, I am able to cook Ninja Salad, and for the most part, I do want the next upgrade on the cooking pot, which will increase it to 53 ingredients. I currently have, or 54 rather. 53 is the requirement for the Ninja Salad, and at that point, I don't really need the Flareon much. But the Flareon is also a Pokemon that keeps coming back onto my teams because I have too many ingredient focused Pokemon to where I constantly fill up my bag. And at that point, the cooking power up is a great main skill because 27 per proc, Flareon has a pretty decent skill trigger rate. We can take a look at it here. Flareon. Yeah, so decently fast, high skill rate, and it's got the skill level up M, skill trigger M, and then I've dumped 2 seeds into it because overall it's just that strong of a Pokemon. So if we have a look at my team overall, the Flareon is definitely one that is good for Top Hollow. Same with the Charizard, same with the Marowak, and then I do have the Sylveon for healing, and then I can probably mix in some ingredients here and there. So overall, my Top Hollow team is pretty strong. Tyranitar is nice. It is a bit of a difficult Pokemon to consider just because it has so much potential. Mostly I've used my Tyranitar at Snowdrop with the berry finding, and because Tyranitar is a pseudo legendary, it has a slightly increased EXP curve, so having this EXP up is quite nice. And because it is berry finding, it is super important with the inventory as well. So with a mild nature, this overall is a very good Tyranitar in my book. Obviously, if you're very ingredients focused on the Tyranitar, then having triple ginger is going to be a big deal, and potentially also the ingredient finding M, and maybe want another helping speed, more so than some of these sub skills. So it just depends on what you find. For me though, early day, because you can see I found this August 22nd, so it's been on my team 1400 hours. That's a lot of utility right there. And with the energy charge S as well, it's basically charged for the most part the whole day, no matter what happens with the Sylveon. So definitely a really good Pokemon that keeps popping up on my teams almost no matter what, because as you saw when I sort by berry, Tyranitar is number 2. So we have covered the healers, my lack of berry Pokemon, my overinvestment in skill specialists, and some of these ingredient Pokemon that I've powered up to level 30 but never used. Magnezone is probably one that I will spend seeds on just because of this broken set of sub skills. It's got the helping speed M, it's got the skill trigger M, and it's got the skill trigger S. It's just insane how good this Magnezone is. And if we compare it to the Flareon, it's just night and day how much better the Magnezone is. Like, look at this. It's got a slightly slower frequency, but it's got a whole base percentage point higher on the skill rate, and it does evolve twice. So the Magnezone, a big OP Pokemon, I really like it, and what I'm really hoping for is for some insane late game stacking, like God forbid they make a Steel Berry, Electric Berry, random Isle as a future update, because then I'm going to be running Healer, I'm going to be running Raichu, Magnezone, and then a broken Steelix, and just do the game. So we have the Magnezone here. I could also point out the Blueberry is super valuable. I think it's number 2. Let's have a look here. Yep, it's 32 with a base value of 33, while the Yachi Berry is at 35, and then the Chesto Berry coming in at 32. Same with the Rost, 32. So just a lot of things to consider. So if we go into my collection overall here and peek a quick look, I would say I am looking for some of these berry finding Pokemon. I can quickly cover some of the Pokemon that I'm really... I did this again! Now I'm thinking we can do in this last segment just a quick listing of all of the Pokemon that I am on the hunt for, that I do think would overall make my team more robust. And the main Pokemon there, for me personally, is going to be the Abomasnow, because it will make me a lot more prepared for the dessert weeks, because I lack eggs quite a lot. And then the other Pokemon will be the Dugtrio, because of the leaks. If I somehow can find a double leak next week or the following couple weeks when I'm going to Top Hollow to look for Diglett, that would be great. And then I've covered the leaks and the eggs, and at that point overall my teams are pretty good. It would be nice with a Honeysaur, like a just triple honey Bulba. That would be really strong. And after that I'm just looking for the Raichu as a berry specialist. I want another Walrein as a berry specialist. I also want the Meganium. Oops. There we go. And if I somehow can also do a bit of work on the Typhlosion while I'm looking for Diglett, that would be really nice at Topalo. So overall, these are some of the Pokemon that I am using on a frequent basis. And if I also double check on the notes here, the big question was Pokemon that I always have in my bag that come in handy in various situations. So Max Exala, I hope I addressed your question, and if you guys have any other questions for me, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you. So thank you very much for watching.